My name is Howard Garrett, and with my now wife Susan Berta, we founded Orca Network, or a precursor to Orca Network, in 1995. The Southern residents were looking good. They had at least gotten a good start on rebounding from the capture era and from being shot at and every other insult to them. But then in 1998, seven whales disappeared, and then three more the next year, and then more the next year. And so by 2000 or so, they had lost almost 20% of their population. And so we were alarmed along with everybody else, and that's what led to the eventual endangered species listing. We knew they depended on salmon at that time. And those years, as it turned out, were very bad El Nino years. So ocean conditions were especially bad, which compounded every other habitat loss and every other issue that has reduced salmon populations. So that's how I became tuned into salmon, by way of the orcas, of course. I got very curious about what was going on and what to do about it. And so I started looking for organizations, nonprofits, or any other efforts to restore salmon, to bring salmon back into the orca habitat. And it was pretty clear to everybody that they really did depend on salmon, and that there's this other population that they cross paths with all the time that won't touch a fish. They like mammals. Um, so that was highly intriguing, and there's no way to explain that except by tradition, by learning, by them having been basically raised, taught from birth that we eat salmon. So many different varieties of salmon that are good food for the orcas that they were abundant year round. And so the southern residents, way back in time, were able to basically found a society, a complete culture, a tradition bound way of life, depending virtually entirely on Chinook salmon. They were fascinating to me on a kind of a, I guess you could say, intellectual level, academic curiosity that there could be this population that is so highly sophisticated that they form cultures that are very specific in their rules and their traditions and ways of life, and seeing how they move, how they group together, how they do these, amazing, whether they're ceremonies or just parties. And of course, in the last certainly half dozen years, we've seen them what looks like, desperately searching high and low in every nook and cranny for any sign of any fish. Um, that happens all too often, and then they don't have time to play and socialize. And um, so you've sort of been with them through these adventures and misadventures and good times and bad, and they're part of your family. They're part of your world that you don't, you know you want to be in touch with all the time. It's great to see that kind of interest and dedication and affection for the orcas uh, be far and wide. See so many, great folks who care so much, and I think we can do something about it with all of that passion. There should be a way, and of course there are a lot of ways, and they are being done, but more needs to be done to bring back the salmon so that the orcas can continue to grow their families.